Olympic Committee released a statement following huge controversy surrounding Imane Khelif beating Angela Carini in 46 seconds at the Paris Olympics. Every person has the right to practice sport without discrimination. All athletes participating in the boxing tournament of the Olympic Games Paris 2024 comply with the competition's eligibility and entry regulations, as well as the applicable medical regulations set by the Paris 2024 boxing unit. As with the previous Olympic boxing competitions, the gender and age of the athletes are based on their passport. PBU used the Tokyo 2020 boxing rules as a baseline to develop its regulations for Paris 2024. This was to minimize the impact on athletes' preparations and guarantee consistency between Olympic Games. These Tokyo 2020 rules were based on the post-Rio 2016 rules, which were in place before the suspension of the Boxing International Federation by the IOC in 2019 and the subsequent withdrawal of its recognition in 2023. We have seen in reports misleading information about two female athletes competing at the Olympic Games Paris 2024. The two athletes have been competing in international boxing competitions for many years in the women's category, including the Olympic Games 2020, International Boxing Association IBA World Championships and IBA sanctioned tournaments. These two athletes were the victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA. Towards the end of the IBA World Championship in 2023, they were suddenly disqualified without any due process. According to the IBA minutes available on their website, this decision was initially taken solely by the IBA Secretary General and CEO. The IBA board only ratified it afterwards and only subsequently requested that a procedure to follow in similar cases in the future be established and reflected in the IBA regulations. The minutes also said that the IBA should establish a clear procedure on gender testing. The current aggression towards these two athletes is based entirely on this arbitrary decision, which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering that these athletes have been competing in top-level competition for many years. Such an approach is contrary to good governance. Eligibility rules should not be changed during ongoing competition, and any rule change must follow appropriate process and should be based on scientific evidence. The IOC is committed to protecting the human rights of all athletes participating in the Olympic Games as per the Olympic Charter, the IOC Code of Ethics, and the IOC Strategic Framework on Human Rights. The IOC is saddened by the abuse that the two athletes are currently receiving. The IBA's recognition was withdrawn by the IOC in 2023, following its suspension in 2019. The withdrawal of recognition was confirmed by the Court of Arbitration for Sports. See the IOC statements following the ruling. The IOC has made it clear that it needs national boxing federations to reach a consensus around a new international federation in order for boxing to be included on the sports program of the Olympic Games LA 28.